Hey guys, it's Josh. Want to make a video about weight gain, accidental weight gain with IBD, what causes it. Got into some discussions online with some people. Lindsay asks, has anyone noticed a correlation between having ulcerative colitis and weight gain, or is that mostly weight loss they have seen for themselves? And it's normal for most people to experience weight loss with IBD. Generally, you have some sort of issue with somewhere along your digestive tract that causes an inability to absorb nutrients. So if you eat 2,000 nutrients a day, maybe you're only absorbing 1,500. That's just kind of numbers pulled out of thin air as an example. Don't cite me for that. But just to give you an idea of how absorbing works, when you have absorption issues, your numbers don't go up. You don't go from eating 2,000 calories a day to absorbing 2,500. It only goes down. You can only take away. You can't absorb calories twice, if that makes sense. So some people, a lot of people said they experienced similar issues, like a lot of people. I asked a friend of mine, she's a registered dietitian. She sent me some long responses here, and I'm going to share the information with you guys so you understand from someone who's actually in the field and actually went to school for this. But before I do that, I'm going to give you my opinion, which is a good introduction to hers because of course we agree. But the main thing I want you guys to understand is kind of what I just said, is that if you're eating 2,000 calories a day, your body isn't going to absorb 2,500 calories a day or 3,000 calories a day. If you're giving it 2,000 calories a day, it can absorb at most 2,000 calories a day. It doesn't pull calories out of thin air. It doesn't just you just can't breathe in and just gain weight and take drugs, and it's not how it works. The drugs don't contain enough calories to give you that weight gain. Forget everything you know about weight loss and weight gain, back in the 90s or so, everyone thought trans fat caused weight gain, but more recently everyone understands that calories are what cause weight gain and weight loss. Protein, carbohydrates, and fats added together come up with a caloric total. So if you add in all the protein, all the carbs, and all the fats you digest in a day, you would get a caloric total. Your body, depending on several factors, whether you're a male, you're female, you're tall, you're short, you're active, a ton of different factors basically determine how many calories a day you burn. And so I'm a tall guy, I'm young, I'm a male, I'm very, very active. I burn upwards of, let's say, 3,000 calories a day, 2,800 calories a day. Now, someone who's 45 years old, female, works an office job, not very active, she might only burn 1,500 calories a day. That's half the calories that I burn. And 1,500 calories is not a lot of calories. And let's just use 1,500 calories for an example. Like if you ate McDonald's for lunch, that's 800 calories. That's half your day right there. So then you got breakfast, snacks, dinner, and late night snacks that you got to get within 800 calories. And that's not a lot. You're going to be hungry. So you got to plan it intelligently. If you're small, inactive, and you just don't burn a lot of calories. And if you want to know how many calories a day you burn, how do you calculate that? I made another video on that, so go ahead and check that out on my channel. But I'm going to leave that for that video and try to keep this video a little more short. Realize how messy my hair is because the barber's closed and I can't get a haircut. Should probably put a hat on. Okay, so now that basically we have it established that you can't pull calories out of thin air, unless you're going to argue the law of conservation of mass, which was established in the 1700s. Like, unless you're going to go back and say that was all made up and not true, we can at least agree on that calories don't come out of thin air. What you gain is based on what you put into it. Okay, now for the dietitian, what does she say causes weight gain with something like IBD? So overall, meds can make you gain water weight. Things like steroids. If you're on prednisone specifically, that will make you gain water weight, which when you stop the use of prednisone, that water weight will go away. You don't need to exercise or anything. Luckily, water weight goes away easily. To reduce water weight, it's backwards to what most people think. You don't drink less water. The less water you drink, the more water your body's going to hang on to because it realizes, oh crap, the body's not getting enough water as it needs. We better be very careful with dispensing this. We have to absorb it and hang on to it. It's like a scarce resource. So drink more water and you'll actually hold less water weight. You're going to urinate a lot and your urine's going to go probably to a very clear color, which is a good thing. The more clear your urine is, the better, obviously. But if you're not drinking enough water, your urine's probably pretty yellow. You're probably retaining a lot of water. So that's for steroids. Another thing is antidepressants. They can basically change your appetite. She said antidepressants make you feel happier, which naturally makes you feel better to eat. She says it's unconscious almost. They don't realize their appetite has increased. And overall, many meds in general have increased appetite as a side effect for many medications. So look up medications you're taking and what you take and see if increased appetite is part of that. Because when you're on medication and you have increased appetite, you don't really realize it. Like, you don't consciously realize, wow, I'm hungry often. It's just, it kind of just happens. You kind of just wander the kitchen more often and eat more often. Because females have more unintentional weight gain, she thinks hormones are at play. But there's nothing you can do about that. Another thing is IBD patients, she thinks naturally just don't exercise a lot just because we're very laid up. You know, a lot of people just are in pain a lot, don't have energy, etc. So we don't exercise a lot and we stay inside. One thing I've noticed with this coronavirus quarantine, pandemic, whatever's going on right now, people are staying home a lot. So when I visit my parents, I notice they're always home and they're always needing more groceries. They're always cooking, always eating. And they're just naturally eating more because they're at home more. And this is kind of what happens if you have IBD. You're home a lot. You know, a lot of people have said this quarantine isn't really affecting me much because I'm used to this life with IBD. I'm always home. I'm always quarantined. I'm always, not necessarily quarantined, but laid up and always sick at home. And so you're at home more, which is less exercise generally, unless you find a way to exercise, which is just unlikely. It's just very unlikely. You might exercise here and there. You know, you're more than likely not, playing football or baseball or hockey every night after work or school. So as I've mentioned in my more recent videos, if you've never watched them before, I just suggest you check them out. But it's not the weight that you should be concerned with. It's just the increased amount of fat and the lack of muscle. Generally, when you have a lot of fat, you might think you're strong, but in reality, it's like I'm 160 pounds lean right now, and I'm much stronger than someone who's 185 pounds, 25 pounds heavier than me, but has a lot of fat. Generally, when you remove all that fat from their body, they go down to a 140-pound person. If you just have, essential fats, the muscle they currently have, and their bone structure, and all the organs and everything. They lose so much weight when you remove that excess fat, which is how a skinny guy like me, I'm not necessarily big by any means, but can be stronger than someone who's 25 pounds heavier than me. Don't be scared of gaining muscle. Like, people are scared of lifting weights, especially women all the time. They don't want to lift weights because they'll get too muscular, but you shouldn't be afraid of getting muscle. Sure, you're going to draw a line eventually a couple years in and say, okay, I have enough muscle now, I have enough strength, but most people who are overweight, they actually don't have enough muscle. So don't be scared of losing some fat and gaining some muscle. That'd be a good idea. And then to conclude, she just said, I think most of the weight gain comes from medication side effects. And then they gotta be mental, because you're not realizing you're eating more than normal. And she said that's because it's definitely not your gut absorbing extra nutrients, which is what I said earlier. Your body isn't pulling calories out of thin air. And once you fully believe that, then you kind of know the changes you need to make. And I recommend, take a notepad, get a notepad, they're $2. And from the moment you wake up in the morning, every time you pour something into a bowl, eat something, you pour a cup of apple juice or orange juice, look at the calories and just jot it down. Do that for a full day. Just track your calories for a full day. Don't try to eat differently that day. Just eat what you would normally, and don't even add it up until the end of the day. Don't try to change anything until you figure out where you're at. If you're gonna snack, if you're gonna have a slice of cake, if you're gonna order some chicken wings, if you're gonna, have fast food, I don't recommend fast food for someone with IBD, but if you normally have that, then do it this day. If you're hungry and you normally eat when you're hungry, then eat when you're hungry. Do it for a full day and write everything down and see where you're at calorie-wise. Are you in the 1,500 range, 2,500 range, 3,500 range? Try to find out where you're at, and then go back to my video that shows you how to calculate your caloric expenditure, it's called. Your daily caloric. TDEE is the acronym. And then compare the two. If you're eating more than your body is using, then you're going to gain weight. That's just how it works. That's just basic science. If you're eating less than what your body is using, then you're going to lose weight. And then with IBD, there's more complications that cause you to lose weight, because you might be feeding your body 2,000 calories a day, and your body requires 2,000 calories a day, but the problem is your body can only absorb 1,500, so you're really only feeding it 1,500 calories a day, but you require 2,000, and so you're losing weight. So then you need to feed it 2,500 calories a day, and then when you don't absorb the 500 calories, you're actually feeding it 2,000, and you absorb 2,000, and there you have it. You're maintaining a healthy weight. But everyone's guts are different, and by different I mean some of us can absorb better than others. And so those of us that can absorb properly are going to gain weight much easier. If we're on medication that promotes appetite and our gut is absorbing everything, and we can eat foods we like, that helps a lot, then you're going to gain weight. But if your gut is in awful condition, not absorbing anything, everything's going straight through you, you can't eat anything because everything hurts, and so you just basically eat like food that you don't really like, and you only eat that when you're really, really hungry, then you're just going to end up losing weight. That's simple, and that's why most people with IBD lose weight. Anyways, that's all I have to say right now about weight gain. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to explain some of these details further, but I hope I cleared up a lot of your questions and misunderstandings. Click the subscribe button, check out the other videos. If you like this video and you watch it this far, I'm sure you'll like some of the other videos. I'll see you guys later.